MMORPG Minecraft, where making money is pretty hard. It requires time, effort, leveling up skills, being smart with your purchases, getting lucky drops, investing in profitable markets, etc. And getting 1 billion coins can take weeks or even months of work, and most players never even get close to 1 billion even after 3 years of playing. And for reference, 1 billion coins worth around $700 if you were to buy it in Skyblock Gems. Now, what if I told you that a very small group of Skyblock players had over 8 trillion coins worth? That's around $750,000 in Skyblock Gems. And what if I told you they lost all of it in a few minutes? For this video, we'll dive deep into the story of one of those people that goes by the name of D4MIT or Dammit, and tell you how within only a few minutes, over 8 trillion coins was lost. Now, in order to understand how he lost all his net worth, we first need to take a look on how he gained all of his net worth. But even before we do that, I need to tell you to subscribe, as if we reached 200k subs before the middle of March, we would have gained 100k subs in 1 year. So help us reach that cool milestone by subscribing right now. It's a good investment because it's free. Anyways, D4MIT was always a pretty good Hypixel Skyblock player. He has been in the top Hypixel Skyblock guilds such as Lost in Space, First Place Freds, and a few more, which are guilds that only allow the best of the best to enter them, and only the richest players are allowed in. Part of D4's net worth was from being very skilled at something that most people are not good at, and Skyblock players call that skill being lucky. D4 has a good history of making money off of things that lots of people see as pointless gambles, and even a way to lose all your money. He mainly did dragons and slayers. If you didn't know, in Hypixel Skyblock, you can spawn a dragon for around 8 million coins worth of dragon eyes. And after killing the dragon, you have a chance of getting a dragon pet, which sells for around 600 million coins. The chances of getting a pet are insanely low, and lots of people end up spending more than a billion coins before they get a dragon pet, which makes them sometimes lose double what they invested. But not for D4. He's gotten really lucky and somehow managed to get 10 Ender Dragon pets from dragons. Aside from dragons, he's also gotten lucky with Wolf Slayer, which has the same gambling mechanic of dragons. It costs 50,000 coins to spawn a tier 4 boss, and there's an astronomically low chance of getting an item from it that sells for 100 million coins called an Overflux Capacitor. D4 has again gotten pretty lucky with those and gotten multiple Overflux Capacitors, making him richer and richer. And same thing for Tarantula Slayer and Digested Mosquitoes. He even gotten 2 crazy rare drops in a row once, which is a drop some people
Now this is what riches truly looks like. Believe me, getting to this point was far from easy, but man, was it a story to share. And today I'm going to share you that story, not only how I got here, for how I built the richest cartel empire in DayZ. So let's take it from the very beginning. Now, our story starts how everyone begins on DayZ. At the coast. At this point, the server had just wiped, and I had nothing to my name except for a bit of food and a dream to run the richest cartel empire in DayZ. But before I could reach any riches or even start this business, I was going to need some cash to get me started, and I knew the best way to get that cash would be to gather and sell as many valuable guns as I could. Okay, sure powder, we need that for raiding. M110, what the hell? Okay, let's go. Let's head away from the coast. Gotta head inland. After looting the military checkpoint, I headed further inland. I already had a few decent guns, but I would need a lot more if I wanted to make that starter cash. But as I arrived at this camp, I found just what I'd need. Mishikino! Sorry, I just found a key to unlock a shed in Peanuts. Okay, where is this shed gonna be, man? Okay, I think this is it. Yep, it is. Oh god. That's not good. Oh my god, okay. Not even an hour into starting, and I already had my first pack of weed seeds, and if only I knew, this pack of seeds right here would be the start of my biggest cartel operation in DayZ. Anyway, after grabbing the weed packets along with all the guns, I had just about enough to make the starting cash I need, so I headed to the Safe Zone Trader to sell up and invest in our future business. Okay, so what we need to do first is sell all of these guns that I managed to get, mags, ammo, all of this. I need to sell all the stuff that I don't actually need. Okay, I can sell the M110. Sell the M14 as well. I began selling every valuable gun I had and anything else I didn't need. Then I bought the base supplies I was missing so I could build the base of operations. That is literally everything. Actually, one more thing I need to buy. And now we are in business, baby. Well, almost. Before we could actually start our business, of course, we were going to need a location to run it. And I had a pretty good idea where that could be. It was in the far north, and a building that was easy enough to fortify enough for us to grow our entire supply. So I headed straight there. I don't see any flags. Might actually be free to take. Okay. Looks clear so far. Okay, this is really good, actually. This is where we could start everything, and then later on we can expand out to the outside once we've got enough nails, but this is the perfect spot to start this. We've got all of these rooms down here for storage, for kits, for people to go, like, it's literally perfect. Yeah, I think this will work. Thankfully, the building was free to take, so I chose a room which we could call our office, and I got to work fortified. With our classroom office now secure, we could start our business. But let me tell you, this journey to riches was far from easy, and the clans and groups around us would do anything they could to stop us from succeeding. But now, everything was going smoothly. Although I had a problem. Yes, my office space was secure, but I had no storage. So using 2 of the keycards I found on my way to this location, I decided to head to those 2 keys and hopefully get myself some much needed storage. Right. I've got a really quick loot in this. Thanks to those locked rooms, I now had more than enough storage to return to base, fill my office. And with my storage problem now sorted, we can get back to business. And started by running Bandit Trader. This is where we'd sell the bricks we'd produce. So I wanted to find out what each brick was worth, and if it was even worth selling. Bandit Camp's just 400 meters this way. It's not a safe zone trader. I can't, you know, if I'm trading here, I'm gonna do it quickly, because someone can run up on me and kill me. So, by just getting in and out of here without getting shot, I think we might be clear. So Skunk is 1,000, 7,500 for Purple Kush, Blue God for Stardog, and Future, 15k for S1 Hemp, and 15k for the Nomad, and 20k for Black Frost. That's pretty good. As I looked over the prices of each brick, I knew instantly that this was certainly a business opportunity. With a bit of luck, this could make a very wealthy solo player. But of course, with the help of some people I trust, together, we could become the richest clan on the server. With everyone playing their roles in the business, from farmers growing the produce to associates doing constant selling runs, we could be running the biggest drug operation we'd ever seen, and eventually become the richest empire in DayZ. So I didn't waste another second. I headed out of the bandit camp, and straight away I reached out to the most trustworthy people I knew. I explained what my plan was, and I asked if they wanted in on this operation. All I had to do then was wait. Oh shit!
Hey, is this the place?
Is this the best ever?
Bro! You guys are so good! No, is that a bid?
Yeah.
Alright, come on.
Oh my god!
3 rounds that are more powerful than the 308. Sure, it might look big when you compare it to regular cartridges, but take a look at this compared to the 50 BMG. In all the rounds, I'm going to show you a very unique twist. This one was developed years ago, and it is very powerful. You think this is big. This right here is a 20 millimeter. Comparing the two, it's not even a competition. This one is used a lot in aircraft, and it is absolutely massive. But again, not so large. You compare it to the 30 millimeter. This behemoth is pretty much artillery. And take a look at this in my hands. So what's so unique about all of these rounds? Take a look at this. An American company bottle breacher takes once-used cartridges and turns them into bottle openers. 15% off your bottle breacher with code TACTICAL15. Subscribe for more. 3 rounds that are more powerful than the 308. Sure, it might look big.
Today I made a DIY North Korean driver's license by taking a picture with my iPad, and then I googled North Korean IDs and slapped my face on it. And I made it look all pretty by crossing this guy's name off and giving myself a fake name, but I can get into a club or anything. I did it so that every day I can print a new one and change my birthday to today's date so I can get free stuff every single day, like a Starbucks drink, or make people be nice to me. Anyways, I said my ID at Olive Garden, and the waiter got the whole restaurant singing happy birthday to me. But more importantly, I got a big old cannoli for free, baby. Anyways, next I went to Cheesecake Factory, and I showed my waitress my ID, thinking she would give me, I don't know, a cheesecake slice at Cheesecake Factory. But when she came to the table, she had all these cheesecake slices, and what did she give me? A bowl of berries. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess. But then she dropped the bill off and charged me $8 for the strawberry, when all I wanted was a slice of cheesecake for free because they're like $10. So basically fake North Korean IDs don't work at Cheesecake Factory. Today I made a DIY North Korean driver's license by taking a picture.
3 rounds that are more powerful than the 308. Sure, it might look big when you compare it to regular cartridges.
The shortest war in recorded history lasted only for 38 minutes. It was the Anglo-Zanzibar War and was fought on Zanzibar Island near Tanzania. This island is now part of Tanzania, but back in the 1890s was part of the British Empire. The British installed a puppet sultan here who died in 1896. After his death, the sultan's brother Khalid took over the palace and started ruling the island without seeking approval from the British Empire. Britain did not like this and gave him till 26th August to vacate the palace. But on the morning of 27th August at 8 a.m., Khalid cleared his intention of not leaving. To crush his rebellion, at 9 a.m., the British Navy, led by Rear Admiral Harry Rawson, was ordered to open fire. At 9:02 a.m., most of Khalid's artillery got destroyed, and it is said that by 9:05 a.m., he fled, leaving his soldiers to fight. At 9:40 a.m., his remaining soldiers retreated, making it the shortest war in history.
We messaged over 1,283 celebrities.
And we calculated how likely they were to respond. I'm a huge fan of your work. Would love to collab sometime.
0 replies.
I gotta say, you could have done a little better on your most recent album.
86 replies. Mostly music artists explaining that we're objectively wrong.
21 years ago, my mom met you at an LA nightclub. I am your son.
1 reply, 15 blocks.
What's 9 plus 10?
I really didn't want to do this one.
Read the responses, Aiden.
39 responses, all 21s.
You're a terrible actor, and your movies are awful.
1 reply, Adam Sandler. And it was an overwhelmingly positive conversation.
Would you like to be a guest on our talk show?
0 responses.
Except for Gary Vee. And
We asked him ironically.
I always had a feeling you were gay, but that Forbes article was way more information than I bargained for.
17 responses, most asking for a
I
link.
would have never pegged you for it.
47 replies, most asking us if we were just going to finish the sentence or not. And we never.
I saw what you slipped in that drink. If you want to meet up, I can forget this off for a price.
12 responses, all asking for the address to meet up. Welcome to LA.
Yeah, it's part of the charm.
We messaged over 1,000.
The greatest Rust player of all time. He has 8,000 hours, but he's never placed a door, a workbench, or a tool cupboard. I first met Tony during the Rust Christmas back in 2018. Before sets, boomboxes, and radio stations, Tony was our 24/7 Christmas caroler. Mike spamming smooth jazz renditions of all the Christmas classics. Permanently parked beneath our tree on Face Punch US East 2. We'd feed Tony, keep him clothed, and restock his campfire. And in return, he played untold hours music, whether we were online or off. Thing changed when we discovered Tony had been killed in an off-raid. They had taken our loot and griefed our decorations, yes, but they had killed Tony Christmas. So we built a new domicile for Tony to reside in, but this time there were no doors or windows or shop fronts or even a Christmas tree. This time Tony would reside in a sheet metal 1x1 built outside the offending range compound, playing a much louder type of music. We soon discovered just how effective Tony could be when deployed his weaponized form, and while there's so much more to the Tony Christmas story, it's Tony's innocence that makes him the greatest Rust player of all time. He has 8,000.
This is the Fennec 45, a gun that doesn't even technically exist. In Call of Duty, they slightly modify and change the name of every single firearm in order to avoid copyright issues with the original firearm manufacturer. And today, I want to test your firearm knowledge and see if you can guess which of these real-life firearms are influencing these fictional Call of Duty weapons. I'll try to start this pretty easy with firearm number 1. The X13 Auto is a weapon featured in Call of Duty based on what real-life firearm? If you guys don't figure this out, I have no respect for you. I'll give you 3 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Did you get it? Because this is based off of the Glock 18. That's pretty cool, huh? This is
The NFL made an $800,000 mistake, and it might have cost Eagles the Super Bowl. You see, the NFL spent 2 years preparing specific grass for Super Bowl 57, going as far as inventing an entirely new type of grass called Tahoma 31 with funding from the United States Golf Association. And this new blend is supposed to be able to better handle the cold, disease, and recover quickly from repeated use. But instead, every player on the Chiefs and the Eagles said it was the worst field they'd ever played on. So what happened? Well, one theory put forward by Booger McFarland speculates that the desert climate created extra moisture on the field. The warm temperatures during the day paired with rapid cool downs at night combined with an open roof could lead to extra slippery conditions. Other commentators, including Terry Bradshaw during the halftime show, cited the abnormally large painted areas on the field. But regardless of what caused it, these conditions clearly impacted the game. I mean, the Eagles set a franchise record this year for sacks and didn't have a single one in the Super Bowl. Hassan Reddick even mentioned that several times he felt like he beat his man, but when he tried to turn the corner, the field just wouldn't let him. Now, the NFL is already committed to donating this field to a local high school, but at this point, I'm not even sure they'd want to take it, because the NFL made it.
So today I decided to go to this thrift store that I've never been to before. So as soon as I walked in, I saw this section right here and I decided to check it out. I didn't really find anything. I saw like 2 games in there, but they're not really worth anything. Then I saw this tub of Star Wars toys. I don't know much about them, so I was gonna think about it. Then I saw these Pokemon cards, nothing crazy. They had some electronics, but they didn't really have a lot of stuff. The only thing I walked out with was this thing full of toys, of Star Wars toys.
When this kid was in middle school, he bought a shoe customization kit, and he was skilled enough to design stuff like this on people's shoes. Well, he decided to start a business. He charged kids $10 for him to customize their shoes. But more and more people started getting interested in this, and business started booming. So he raised his price to $50 per customization. Things were going great, and he was running this business for 3 months, until one day the vice principal walked in on him in the bathroom designing some shoes. The vice principal saw him and told him that he had to ask the principal if he could continue. Well, the principal said, yeah, for sure, keep going. And he did. He continued this business for 7 months. But then one day a school board official was visiting the school, and the school board official caught him in the bath as well. He was then shut down completely. In total, he made about $11,000. That's insane.
Did you know that in Schindler's List, during the Jewish ghetto liquidation?
Dude, I can't serve this. You gotta plate it better than that. It's fine, bro. Just run it. I'm just saying, for $18, it should look better than this. How much? 18. For an appetizer? Yeah, it's pretty average for our apps. Holy sh**. $18 for fried goat cheese? I don't make that in an hour, bro. Yeah, it's not cheap. I mean... How much? Dude, these fried goat cheese are $18. Chef, did you know how much these cost? Yeah, I made a menu. You know how much they cost us to make? If I charge $16, we'd be out of business in a month. Inflation, am I right? Respectfully, shut up. You make tips. Respectfully, you chose to be a cook. I chose server, so... Just walk away, Brad. Walk away. I mean, they're good, but they're not $18 good. You know what I mean?
In World War II, it wasn't uncommon for a soldier to look like this after a few days of hard fighting. Just don't try telling that to General Patton. You see, Patton was an old school guy, and he expected his soldiers to look like this, clean, well-dressed, and well-groomed. With this in mind, you can imagine how General Patton felt when the cartoon Willie and Joe started depicting soldiers as looking dirty and scruffy in the field. Patton was so upset by this that he ordered the creator of the cartoons, Bill Malden, to meet with him at his headquarters in Luxembourg. At this meeting, Patton said that he felt these cartoons were disrespectful towards the army and even accused Malden of trying to start a mutiny. These feelings were not shared by General Dwight D. Eisenhower, Supreme Commander of Allied forces in Europe. Eisenhower ordered Patton to leave Malden alone because he felt that the cartoons were good for soldiers' morale. In World War II, it wasn't uncommon for a soldier to look like this after a few days.
Here's why these magazines have white writing on them. And if they didn't, the result may be catastrophic. See, this is a regular AR-15 magazine, no writing whatsoever. This one says 300 BLK, which stands for 300 Blackout, fits into a standard AR-15 magazine. And you need a special gun that can shoot 300 Blackout. This one cannot. This is a right-to-bear upper chambered in 5.56. Very affordable, but not very affordable if you're to load a 300 Blackout inside. And here's why. First of all, thank you to Armslist for supporting the channel. I like to think of them like Craigslist, but for guns. Now, if I were to put this 300 Blackout into this chamber, we would have a catastrophic failure. That's because 300 Blackout and 223 use the same brass. Though it sits shorter, it can chamber into a 223 barrel. But there's way too much lead, and it would completely blow out the side, possibly damaging your bolt carrier group and your chamber permanently. That's why I have to write on these magazines. It's all to avoid a catastrophic failure. Subscribe.
What happened when kamikaze pilots survived? Kamikaze pilots were trained to sacrifice their lives by crashing their planes into American ships. However, some pilots returned from their missions due to weather conditions or mechanical failures, while others returned because they were afraid. Those who could prove that their return was not their fault were accepted back and given another chance to complete their mission, while those who couldn't were punished, though not severely, as they had to be ready for a flight. One pilot, however, who
This Chinese real estate developer hired a hitman who hired a hitman who hired a hitman who hired a hitman.
Watch this clip.
This Chinese real estate developer hired a hitman who hired a hitman who hired a hitman who hired a hitman who hired a man to take out his competition. No, that wasn't a stutter. This businessman originally offered the first hitman 2 million yuan to take out his competition. That hitman then went out and hired another hitman to do the job for just 1 million yuan. That second hitman then found another hitman and offered
Watch this clip and guess what input this player is using.
SpongeBob received a letter from his
cousin Blackjack.
He Hey everybody, welcome back to another off-stream wipe. Just like my last off-stream on this channel, I'm playing with the Grease, but this time it's the full Grease Police. We've got myself, Disfigure, Spicy, and Wally all in one wipe. Wally said he couldn't be on for this wipe, so had Coma joining us as well. I don't even remember the last time the four of us all gamed together, especially since Wally doesn't usually play group wipes and Spicy isn't playing Rust as much these days. I'd also like to mention that this is not a traditional Rust wipe. If you watched one of my recent main channel videos, The True Enemy, you'll know that Blue Lagoon, my servers, hosted a week of Rust with no tech tree during the first week of March. This forced us, as well as the rest server, to run more monuments, contest more heli crashes, and overall interact with players more. It's a really nice break from the usual grind in Rust, and after seeing the Blue Lagoon community give their positive and constructive feedback on the wipe, I think it's very possible it will return. There's really no way to explain how this wipe went without just showing you. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I hope you guys enjoy. Welcome to Rust. Today, we're playing with the Grease Police. We have all of the Grease